shows. Sometimes you love them, sometimes you hate them, but you always should be doing them. Because where else can you meet thousands of people, speak to them one-on-one, face-to-face, sell your products, brand your company, all in one place, probably all within a few days? If you don't think trade shows are valuable, check out these statistics. There are 11,000 trade shows and about 2,500 consumer shows a year attended by 120 million people who spend $150 billion. The Center for Exhibition Industry Research says you will reach 7 times more qualified prospects at a trade show compared to any other form of advertising, marketing, phone calls, field sales, and those leads are going to cost you 56% less to close than a field sales lead. Now today I'm going to teach you the 5 key strategies that are going to turn your booth into a powerful profit center. So turn to your handouts, and maybe you can tell me how many of you have ever exhibited in a trade show? How many of you are thinking about exhibiting in a trade show for the first time? Okay, but whether you're a first timer or you have done 50 trade shows, preparation is the key. The first thing you want to know about is preparation, because let's face it, you can never be too prepared. So we're going to start with goal setting. Goal setting is the number 1 of the 5 keys. And you want to know what it is you want to accomplish at the show. Multiple goals give you a chance for multiple successes at the show. And what I'm going to give you is approximately 8 goals that you can accomplish at a trade show beyond what you think you might want to do at a trade show. The first is investigate the competition. Yes, collect competitive intelligence. This is not unethical. You should know everything there is to know about your competition. What they're selling, what they're saying, what the customer's asking. So go up to their exhibit. You don't have to go into their booth, but listen and learn and observe what their exhibit looks like, what their salespeople are saying, and what the customer's asking about the products. And then you can take that competitive intelligence and share that with your staff and probably learn some tidbits that you know about your competition. Next is build your brand. You're going to be seen by thousands of people. People buy from people they like and trust, right? But also from people like them. Birds of a feather flock together. So what you want to do is find a unique way to connect with your prospects, your clients, your customers, beyond trying to sell them something. So I recommend first to connect with business. Is there a way that you can show them any certifications? Can you share with them business awards? Publicity your company has had. Can you display that at your booth? How about client testimonials? I always have a portfolio of photographs of the exhibits I've sold, the testimonial letter from the customer right next to it. Those are extremely valuable connecting on a business level. But how do I connect with them on a personal level? Do you do any charity work? Does a percentage of the sales of your products or services go towards a charity? How about community involvement? Do you support your son's Little League team or sponsor your daughter's dance troupe? What about your hobbies? Do you fly fish, skydive, golf? Got pets? I have a financial planner that's a client of mine who bought an exhibit from me, and every show he goes to, he has a framed photograph of himself, his wife, and his Labrador Retriever right at the table. He tells me so many times people come up and talk about that dog. They love Labradors. They have a Labrador. They're thinking about getting a puppy. So the conversation begins about the dog and ends up about financial planning. But he's not only gained a customer, he's actually gained a new friend. So build your brand. Next, network. Seems logical, right? You are certainly going to be networking with the attendees coming past your booth. But how about network at many other opportunities within the event or your speaking engagement or wherever you're at that are going to connect with people beyond the sales platform, which is at your booth. So I want you to attend sessions like this. Go to the lunches. Go to the evening socials and the mixers that are produced or put on by the convention. And mingle with your prospective customers in an atmosphere of casualness. You'll get more opportunity for them to open up. They'll get a little chance to get to know you more as a person as opposed to a salesperson trying to sell them something. Oh, and don't forget to network with the other exhibitors. Now, when there's hundreds of exhibitors in a show floor, many of them are stuck in their booth. A lot of us are one-man bands, so we can't get out and go out to the other exhibitors. But your exhibitors have valuable information and resources for you. If you find an exhibitor that sells a product to your target audience, how about ask them if they know any trade shows they're exhibiting in that are really great that maybe you don't know about. So that's another avenue of sales and marketing that you can go to that you didn't know about before. How about exhibitors as prospective customers? They're cloistered in their booth for 3 days or for 1 day or for 8 hours. They don't get a chance to come out and see your stuff. So I make a flyer specifically marketing to the exhibitors to sell them your products if that's a relevant thing for you to do. So don't lose the opportunity to sell to those exhibitors. Next goal, gather market research. You have $1 million opportunity to check the pulse of the public while you're there at the show. When you're doing a whole bunch of other things and you're already there, so how about find out what your customers want? Take a simple survey. Questions 1, 2, 3 questions. Ask them, what gets them excited about your company or your product? What do they wish you were doing or selling that you're not offering? Now, what are their complaints? What are their biggest challenges when they're purchasing the type of product or service that you offer? What can you do that your competition is not doing? And they'll tell you this. All you have to do is ask. You don't get if you don't ask. So simply have that conversation, like Barbara had actually mentioned in the presentation earlier. Reinforce existing client relationships. The Center for Exhibition Industry Research says this has become the #1 reason why people will go to a trade show, is to meet with their existing customers. And I don't know if you're like me, but I tend to go to the same trade shows year after year. How many of you have been to this event before? Okay, there you go. So the same trade shows year after year. So you already know that many of your customers are going to be visiting you at the show or be at the show. You might want to consider soliciting your top 50 customers and inviting them to your booth. And then when they come there to greet you, thank them for their business and give them a little gift if you would. So reinforce those existing client relationships. Feature something new. Oh, this is very important. Again, back to the fact that the same people come many times to the same event. Why are they doing that? They're looking for new innovations in the industry. So what you want to do, if you have any new service, new product, new staff member, anything you can focus on and showcase as being new is really important, because you know how trade shows are a brain drain. I mean, you're looking here, you're looking there. So something has to catch their eye. A starburst that says new, arrows pointing to your product, things on, spinning turntables. Just bring out the fact that and focus on anything in your business that might be new. Prepare to get publicity. Reporters love trade shows. I mean, it's like a circus at a trade show, and there's a lot of great story ideas and angles that reporters can write on. And many times you'll see cameras coming through from the TV, radio stations, newspaper reporters are at the trade show. And if you plan a little bit ahead and you send out a couple of press releases, create a really great angle and some kind of hook and a great headline to invite a reporter to your booth to debut something new, or if there's a reason for them to come and meet you, or meet a celebrity that you're bringing in, or a top person from the corporate office, or possibly you're donating money to charity, or you're a speaker in that event, that would be a reason why they would come to your booth. And definitely you will get some publicity. That one on the left is of me. I can't remember what I sent a press release out. A reporter called me. I said, hey, why don't you interview me at the trade show? So I had a 10 by 10 space, corner space, and in walks the reporter, and behind him walks the camera guy, and behind her walks the lighting guy with a ladder, advertising, marketing, and then a week later, there's the article. So take a little bit of effort, learn about publicity and how to write a press release, and try to get yourself some publicity. Okay, so now we're going to talk about sales, getting sales. Now, getting sales begins with getting a lead. And I can't tell you how many times I walk to a trade show and people have no way in which to collect leads. They're not getting contact information. They're not asking me for my name and my phone number and my email address. Your number one goal at any trade show should be to get leads. Not to sell something, you'll sell things, but to get leads, because once you capture their name and their phone number and their email address, they're not going anywhere. You can build your database. You can solicit them later. You can give them your newsletter, debut something 6 months from now, consistently stay in touch with them and gain yourself some new clients, but you're not going to get it unless you get that lead. You can have a drawing. How many people that exhibit use a drawing, a contest? You can have an automatic lead retrieval machine, drop the business card into the bowl. All those types of things are important. And getting leads is definitely critical. Now, one of the ways in which I'm a tactile person, so that lead capturing machine to me is too impersonal. Forming a lead form where you can put a lot of additional information on there. You can do your survey question on there. You can ask them about colors and sizes and best time to call and capture more additional information using a lead form, which I like that. And I wouldn't put those on the table by any means. I put them on a clipboard because this is an engagement, face-to-face sales. So I will talk to them as they come up, and we're going to talk about selling strategies, but I put those on a clipboard and then engage them and ask them the questions, and that way at least you can read it, because half the time you can't read it if they're writing it. Well, one thing that's most important, business cards, as in business expos, business cards are probably the most average way that someone will gain your contact information, but in consumer shows, where the public is going there, then the lead form really is most ideal. But business card is also a very valid way to get contact information. But the next thing I'm going to give you is the most important. These are 3 things that are going to change your capacity to close a sale out of the leads you get. And that is rank the lead, add a business note, and a personal comment. What do I mean by rank the lead? Whether it's a lead slip or a business card or however you want to capture that lead, on the back you want to rank it. A, B, or C is a simple ranking system I use. A lead is a hot prospect. That is someone that's going to buy. They might buy there at the show. A B lead is a warm lead. They're definitely interested. They're definitely qualified, but they may not need to buy it for 2 or 3 or 6 months. A C lead is probably somebody who just wanted your freebie, or maybe someone who's not qualified. So rank the leads. Next, a business note. What was the conversation at the show? What do they need a quote on? What's the best time for them to call? If they weren't the person to talk to, who's the contact person? You know, what is it that you have to get back to them about in order to sell your product or service? This is really important because, let's face it, 3 days from now, nobody's going to remember the conversations you had at the show. But the most important differentiator is going to be a personal note. Hey, you talked about baseball or the Super Bowl, or he just moved here from Chicago, or maybe she just had a baby. Now, if you can envision when the follow-up call happens, you're distributing those A's and B's out to your staff. Maybe you're not even calling, but Joe calls up the lead. Hi, Mary, you met Janice at the trade show, and I understand that you'd like a quote on this product. I'm happy to give it to you right now. And oh, by the way, congratulations on your new baby. If you don't think that's going to be memorable and differentiate you from the other competitors calling them, it's going to make a big difference. So those are 3 things that are going to be very unique that will make people remember you. How about skip the follow-up altogether? If you bring your appointment book and your calendar, you can literally make appointments to call them back, meet them in your studio, go to their home for a quotation, right there at the show. So don't hesitate to ask. You don't get if you don't ask. But more importantly, put someone in charge to collect and protect the leads. Now, you heard I owned a trade show display company for 16 years. I can't tell you how many times the exhibit booth came back from a rental, okay, and I'm putting it away, and in the box is their lead box full of leads. Yes, this has happened more than 5 times. He thought she had them. She thought he had them. I've got them. So protect, collect, and protect those leads. Make someone in charge of them for sure. All right. The second key strategy is selling something. 7 out of 10 companies do not train their booth staff in sales because they put their top-notch salespeople in the booth. They're assuming that the sales from the field translates on the show floor. Not true. It's a totally different environment for selling. It's fast, it's noisy, your competition's right around the corner. You don't know what they're going to ask, you don't have time to say much. So, what is very critical is to develop a system by which to sell at the booth. I developed a formula called the 5 E's for booth selling success. Engage, excite, educate, encourage, and exit. And in your handouts, you have a worksheet. I think if you flip the next page, there's a worksheet in there. You can brainstorm with your staff to put these things together. Engage. Be proactive. Don't be sitting down. You're going to not like this, but take the chairs out of the booth. If you need a break, you need to sit, leave the booth. Nobody should have chairs in their exhibit, in my opinion. So, engage. You want to be proactive. Get up there, and you want to create what I call a lead line. And this is a simple question or statement that will compel the customer to stop and talk to you. And there's a variety of lead lines. My lead line as a trade show seller is, does your company do trade shows? So it's a qualifying question. I have an answer if they say yes. I have an answer if they say no. So think about ways in which you can create this lead line that will allow you to open conversation and engage them into the conversation with you. Does your company use newsletter marketing? Something that would apply to your business that would be qualifying and at the same time engage them in conversation. Next, you have the retention, so you need to excite them. Now, the downfall with most sales presentations in a trade show booth is that people start talking about everything they do, everything they sell, all the stuff they have, and that's not what the customer wants to see or hear. They want to know what's in it for them. So you have to lead with exciting them about benefits to them of your product or service. You sell the sizzle, not the steak. What you do for the customer is not important as what your product or how you do what you do is not as important as what it does for them. So benefits, fast delivery. Do you, are you environmentally safe? Do you have a, free shipping? Is it going to make them wealthy, strong, healthy, smarter? Is it going to elevate their status? What is it that you do? Save them money. Think of your benefits, and those are going to be the statements that are going to come out of your mouth first about your introduction to them. So you engage them and get them talking to you about a relevant question that will pique their curiosity. Then you tell them how you know that you understand their problem. This is the key. They need to know you understand what they need, that you are the solution to their problem, and that you can give them resolution or reduce their fear, or again, give them what they need what they need. So that's key. Then you want to connect with them emotionally, reduce their fear, remove their pain, or make them feel more positive about your company and you in comparison to the competition. Then you need to educate them. Now this is when you tell them about your certifications, your length of time in business, the quality of your products, the success of your company, any publicity that you have, what differentiates you from the competition. And visualize this as just being a quick 2-minute thing. You're engaging them, you're exciting them, letting them know you understand their problems. Then you tell them what your company has to offer and why you're the one to be differentiated and the one that they should do business with. But then you want to encourage an action. So what is it? Back to your goals. Do you want them to watch a demo? Do you want them to sign, a lead slip? Do you want them to listen to your presentation, play a game? What is your goal at that show? Looking back at the 8 that we talked about. And that is where you want to encourage them. Sell something, sign a purchase order, close the sale. Now, for those of you who have exhibited before, have you ever found yourself stuck with a prospect that wants to talk and talk and talk, and sometimes you find yourself losing track of time, and you've been talking to them for 20 minutes, and then you realize they're not even a prospect. They're not qualified. So what's happened? 30 people have just passed by your booth. The biggest sale of your career just left because you tied yourself up with someone for 20 minutes. Keep focused. What are we in this business for? To make money, Barbara. So you want to get them in. You want to get what you want to tell them how great you are. You want to get what you want from them, and then you want to get rid of them. Now, I know that sounds hard, but we're all salespeople here, and that's basically the bottom line. Get them in, get them out, get what you want, and get them out. So exit. You got to teach your staff how to disengage. So have some sort of strategy. Normally it would be, Mr. Jones, it was really great talking to you. I know you don't need my products right now, but here's a flyer. I love referrals. Great talking to you. Shake their hand, and then you physically have to turn away and go to the next person. And that's how you do it. So that is the sales strategy that you can employ and brainstorm with your staff about your lead lines and your whole focus, and try that. You can even try them out on different days. If you've got a 3-day show, try one presentation on Friday, the other presentation on Sunday, and see what happens. Okay, third strategy, display dynamics. On a noisy show floor, you only have seconds to capture their attention. You have to know who they have to know who you are, what you do, and why they should do business with you. So this is really critical, why they deserve your business. You need to create a dynamic display, because your display is your traveling store, your mobile manufacturing plant, your portable office. This is the first time they're being introduced to you, and you might as well just assume that first impressions are most important, as they always are. Now, there are 3 elements to a dynamic display: the display structure, the merchandising method, and the marketing message. Marketing message comes second. Display structure, marketing message, and merchandising method. Now, there are many options to choose from when purchasing a trade show display. You've got your tension fabric exhibits, you've got your banner stands, your pop-up displays. And then you've got custom exhibits. I don't know if any of you work for big companies. Some of you may have, very expensive custom exhibits that you would build. And then in shows like this, you've got tabletops. You can look professional in a tabletop. There's nothing wrong with that. They're economical. My message to you is just don't go cheap. Yes, that is a bunch of cardboard boxes. But to be fair with this person, this is a moving company. He could have done a lot better, like he could have put logos alternated on all his boxes. I do like some elements of this, but it's just kind of a fun picture, so don't go cheap. Now, themes. Create a marketing message with impact. Your marketing message on your graphics and signs are really going to be important, and it's going to be the first thing people see and why they're drawn to your exhibit. So themes where you can tie in your tagline or your marketing slogan, or you can bring in another theme that would be relevant to help a segue into the sales presentation between you and your prospects. Could be fun to decorate your booth with. A lot of ideas out there for themes. Blockbuster movies. Anybody read 50 Shades of Grey? Okay, that would be a fun theme. Sports, holidays. Think about ways in which you can make your exhibit fun, but then business-wise, you want to tie it into your ability to sell, or what your products are, or to make people come to your exhibit. Focus on benefits. Again, it's back to benefits, and from your sales presentation to the first thing they see on your trade show display should be speaking to their needs. Focus on benefits, what they need, remove their fear, immediately address it. Trade shows are down and dirty. I mean, you really got to hit them in the face. This is not a time to be conservative, you banks and you financial planners. This is time to really have some fun with your graphics. Touch and emotion. Again, this is going to be a big differentiator when you hit them in the gut. You know what their buzzwords are. You know what their hot buttons are. And use that in an emotional way. Women especially buy on emotion in many ways. So see in which you can use large photographs, very specific messaging. Humor. Use humor. That's fun. That'll make somebody stop. And again, you only need them to stop a second in front of your booth to give you the opportunity to engage them and draw them in. Be succinct. One of the biggest mistakes people make is too much text on their exhibit. People do not read what's on the wall of your display. All that stuff you list on your banner stand, worthless. They're not reading it. Save that for your brochure. That's when they have time to go home and absorb your marketing information and your mission statement and all that stuff. What needs to be up there is succinct. You don't want a lot of text. It's a waste of your money spent on graphics. So do not spend a lot of money on graphics and resist the urge to say too much. Go for the wow factor. The exhibit should be totally coordinated, from the color to the flooring to the graphics to the giveaway to the presentation to the theme. This is what makes impact at the booth. Not just setting the back wall up there and sticking some stuff on a table. That will not be memorable, and it will not be differentiating you from the very professional competitor around the corner. And impressions are important, right? First impressions at the booth, so that is extremely important. Next is merchandising. You think the way you merchandise your products make a difference in people's impression of your company? Okay, absolutely. I'm going to tell you a little secret about merchandising. Merchandising is the way you decorate your booth. It's the way you elevate and display your products. You got to consider the traffic flow through the booth if you want a barrier or if you want to invite them in. What is extremely important is merchandising. This is an example of a client who sells linens. They were at Cater Source where I gave this presentation. Nice exhibit, beautiful selection of fabrics. He's got a little vignette there showing how the event could look with his display. Nice sign, open exhibit. Here's his competition. Same fabric selection, right? Vignettes of tables, signage, but look, it looks like a bistro. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. So which one would you feel would be more capable of giving you a wow event, right? Help you utilize what they're selling. Definitely the second one. Incorporate interesting props. And if you noticed in those examples that the props are the table settings and the signage and so forth. So incorporate interesting props. Props really help people visualize an intangible product or service. It decorates the booth, it makes things fun. Tie your props into your theme. Little vignettes for financial planner could have a cardboard box laid over with some really beautiful fabric, and then maybe put a rolled up thing that looks like a diploma and a picture of a graduate shaking hands, and maybe over here is a baby rattle and a little teddy bear, and saving for retirement, saving for college, saving for the baby, those types of things. Those are little vignettes that just help decorate your booth, make it less commercial looking. They can elevate products, they can contain your literature, they can contain your products, they can, again, like the travel agency, just simulate some kind of emotion when you're on the beach with your little drink with the umbrella in it. Now, miniature props are great, and I don't know how easy it is for you to see that, but that is a designer, that's an interior designer who did a completely miniature bedroom set. I just thought that was so adorable. It doesn't come off very well in the slide. Now, Dirk's Moving and Storage, I don't know if you all have heard of Dirk's. They're here. They're a client of mine in Arizona, and that's a 1/3 scale tractor-trailer truck that they use to transport their products. People's stuff. Giant props are fun. Giant props make a big statement, and there's even a company online called Big Props, I think, that you can buy, giant pencils and toothbrushes and all kinds of really cool things that might tie into your theme. The greatest theme and prop I ever saw was at the National Association of Information Destruction. Yeah, that was the Shredder conference that I spoke at. This was a shredding company who had the theme Recipe for Success. Ladies, you might recognize the Betty Crocker cookbook. Okay, that was the whole theme. This was their prop. In a 20 by 20, it's a giant shredder. And then you can see the shredding with the computer, the shredding with paper, and all the ways in which they shred. That was the buzz. The TV stations came in. It was the talk of the show for 3 days, and I just adored that example. And you may not have the money for that one, but it is pretty impressive, if I say so myself. Can you dress up the staff to promote the theme? Are you that gutsy to put your people into a costume? Can you wear what you sell? Yes, they make aprons, and that is at the hunting and fishing show, and they sell camo, and it's perfect for them to dress in their uniform or what they sell. Most of you would probably be more conservative than that. Maybe you don't want to have that much fun. So at least dress differently than the audience, because then when people come to your booth, they can differentiate you from the customer. And I always dress opposite. If it's a business show, I want to be in something casual, maybe with a logo on it. If it's a casual show, I may want to be more professional in a business attire. Differentiate yourself so they know who you are. Okay, now we're going to talk about the fourth strategy, which is promotions. Driving traffic to the booth, getting people to come to your exhibit so you have a chance to engage them and talk to them. So let's talk about holding a demonstration. Holding a demonstration is the #1 reason that a person will come over to your exhibit, is to see something going on. Can you show them how it works? Can you make it at the booth? Can you slice it in half, open it up, pour out the guts, let them see how it, where it comes from? Those are interesting things. I spoke at the Costco's business expos, and they would have all the vendors there, and I thought it was so cool. They had a sock company showing you on a video how socks are made. And ladies who have had children, remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? What was the most fun segment on that show? It was when they went to the potato chip factory or the Crayola factory. People want to know the inside secrets. So if you can demonstrate in some way, show them something about it. And if you can't demonstrate, use technology. 90-second little video, PowerPoint slides, flip book. Feature personality. If it fits the theme, now this stuff is not random. Remember, it all has to be cohesive and beneficial to your theme and to your product and to your marketing message. But can you feature a personality? That's my hubby. He sets up exhibits at shows. You recognize the Kia hamster? That's a cardboard hamster anyway. He got a picture of that, and I thought it was a good example. So if you can bring a personality into the show, not you ladies to have a Budweiser babe or a Hooters babe, but maybe you can get a guy without a shirt on and it fits the theme. You never know. Never know. Put them in there. How about a mascot? Does your company or your corporate office or would the theme work with a mascot? Mascots are fun. They greet people. They can hand out literature. They can showcase your product. Walk around the show if it's permitted. Those are a lot of fun. Get interactive. People at trade shows, they love to spin a wheel, throw a dart, press a button, pick a card. And again, if you can have some sort of segue into this game or this contest to generate your leads, and then lead into the fun activity, it all works together, but not disjointed and not at random. It all has to work together. Provide samples. Can you sample your product? And that's not just food or drink. And by the way, anybody who's got a bowl of candy at their table in a trade show, that is a pet peeve of mine. It seems like trade shows have become Halloween, in July. I have never, and I've tested this, I have never been engaged by any customer, any exhibitor, when I went up to grab a handful of chocolate. Never. Matter of fact, I call them out. I stand there, I open the chocolate, I'm eating, and they're talking to each other. But provide samples if at all possible. Offer giveaways. How many of you spend money to have the gifts that remain to be seen? Pens, pencils, mouse pads, coasters, anything that would tie into the theme. Just having a bunch of pens there or a bunch of pads all lined up is not smart. Spend money to reinforce the message, to reinforce the information, to make them come back, and do not leave them on the table. Those of you who use Ag Specialties, have you ever had someone come to the table with a bag and shove all stuff in that? Oh, come back 7 times. This is my uncle, this is my sister. No, really. Save those things, and you're rewarding people for getting something that you want from them. So they're taking the survey, they're watching your demo, they're filling out the lead slip, and then they get a reward from you. So use them to your advantage. Don't just give them away. Customize a flyer for the show. Show specials, do close sales. So on one 8.5 by 11, one side, put a bunch of information about your business, and on the other side, give them an incentive with a deadline with which to purchase something, or to call you, or visit your store, or contact your office. And use it on an 8.5 by 11 color paper black ink. $20 for 1,000. Give those out to everybody and save your expensive 4-color brochures for your hot prospects. I remember when I first I was in business and I had not a lot of money, and I made a 2-color brochure, and I handed all of them out at the first trade show I did. And I remember leaving the show and loading things in my car in the parking lot, and I saw them thrown away. I saw several thrown away. People were stomping on them. That was my hard-earned money. So anyway, keep your 4-color brochures for the hot prospects and hand out those cheap flyers to everybody with that special offer on them. Okay, we're winding down. We're going into the 5th strategy, which is follow-up. Follow up effectively and quickly. How many of you follow up leads within 3 days of the show? Congratulations. How many follow up in 5 days of the show? Okay, anybody who's not following up within 3 days of the show, your competition's already contacted those people. Some people fax the leads from the show to their sales offices, and they've got the letter going out so that when the person goes home, the letter's in the mailbox, and then they follow up with a follow-up call. 59% of attendees plan to buy something within the next 12 months. So follow-up is critical, and that's why now, instead of just having 100 leads, you're going to have 200 leads. Studies show that 74% of people collect leads at the exhibits, but 85% of those leads are never followed up. I don't know why that is, but now you've got the ranking system. You know what to talk about when you call them. You're going to get rid of the C's and save that for your trainees to call. And you're going to have that personal connection when you make that phone call or send that letter that are going to close more sales for you. During the follow-up, and you can fax them, phone them, email them, snail mail them. I usually like to mail out, then phone call. Here's some things you can include in the follow-up. Share your publicity. If you got written up in the newspaper, and I love print media as far as PR goes because it's got a long shelf life and you can really milk that PR. So I usually reduce it down in an 8.5 by 11, and then I put my trade show schedule at the bottom of it, and I include that in the envelope. You can put 5 8.5 by 11 flyers in a number 10 envelope for one stamp. So when you send out an introductory letter, a copy of your brochure, maybe stick some publicity in there. Also, take a survey. If you didn't take the survey at your booth, by all means, put a questionnaire on the letter. Let them, refer you somebody. Well, that's another thing. Taking the survey is one thing. Then I think referrals is coming down next. So ask them for a referral. It's like Sales 101. It's the buddy referral system. We all learned when we first got into sales. After every phone call, after every sales presentation, after every engagement at the booth, if they're not interested, do you know anybody who could use our services? So I'm sure you're already doing that, but if you've forgotten, employ that as well in your follow-up. Include a call to action. What this means is, in all the things you're sending out, or in the phone call, you want to ask them to do something. You want to ask them to buy something. Ask them to set up an appointment. Ask for the referral, ask for the testimonial, and you want to include a deadline by which to respond. That's the key. And then track those follow-up calls. I was at this show, it was this date, and then you'll be able to track what leads come from what shows. You'll put a fire under their butt if you give them a deadline by which to respond, a deadline date, and an incentive to buy. 2 for 1, buy one, get one free, and so forth. So, hopefully, for your next trade show, you got some new ideas to employ. I hope I've given you, has anybody got any tips? Did you pick up anything that would be of value? Okay, super. So, make changes, expect results. Set attainable goals. Collect and rank those leads. Sell with the 5 E's formula. Create an impressive display, develop effective promotions, and please follow up quickly, and I know you'll all make more money at your next trade show. Thank you very much.